Hey guys, so I wanted to, I promised full transparency. I promised that I would really put my story out there and that I wouldn't hold anything back. So that's what this is. And I want to just gently disclaimer at the beginning that I hold no judgment against my parents, my family, anybody who I mention in videos, that I mention in writing, because I do believe that everything serves a higher purpose. And so I don't mean to make them look bad. And without further ado, the story of this afternoon's adventures. So this afternoon in our volunteer class, we did this shadow work, and we were acting out our limiting beliefs. So my limiting belief was what other people think about me is more important than what I think about me. And there are reasons for that, and a more supportive belief that I'm choosing to adopt is this: what I think about me is totally acceptable. I'm comfortable in myself. I'm confident with myself. And that frees me up to really be who I am. It allows me to be my authentic self. It allows me to work from where I am. It allows me to be fully present. It gives me more energy to focus on other things instead of worrying about being judged. Um, and so when I was asked to think back to a moment when that may have, so I guess the exact question was, who do you think gave you that belief? And it was my mom, and like I said, no judgment about my mom. And so he said, can you recall a specific incident where you might have thought that what you thought about yourself wasn't important? And so what I went back to was this time 4 years ago when I was 16 years old, and my mom was driving me home from the nutritionist. And at this point, I was recovering from anorexia. I was going to the nutritionist every week, the doctor every week, the therapist every week. It was very stressful. Um, I was really not a happy camper, and my family was not too thrilled with what was going on. Um, so what my mom had said was, the exact words were, "You're a selfish bitch and you're ruining my marriage." And so I took that, and the way that she said it and the words that she said and kind of the gist of the conversation I took as, "You're not worth my time, and you're not worthy, and you don't deserve me taking you to do this and that and the other thing, and it's very selfish of you to want to recover and to take this time and focus on yourself." And that it was probably not what my mom meant, but that's what I took from it. Being a 16-year-old girl without any other tools is other than just take this belief on as my own, take this judgment as my own. And so for the past 4 years, I'm playing this belief in my head, and it's affecting the way that I perceive situations, and it's causing me this discomfort to hold on to this belief. Because when I look at when an experience happens that triggers that belief to come into play, my response is probably anger, frustration, unhappiness, sadness. Um, so it's really colored the way that I live my life now. And especially in that I'm not being who I am around other people, I'm being who other people want me to be or expect me to be. And so at one point that belief was serving me, it was keeping me safe, and now not so much. So we acted that out. So we set up chairs and we're driving the car, and I picked one of the volunteers to be my mom and one of the volunteers to be me. And so they just kept saying it over and over again. They were repeating the situation over and over again. So this one volunteer was like, "You're a selfish bitch. You don't deserve my time. You're not worthy of all this attention. You're ruining my marriage." And the other one's like, "Whatever, like, God, that's like so you, whatever it is, like that deflecting it because you don't want to listen to it and you don't want to believe it." And for me, it was like, I want to stop this from repeating in my head. So how do you stop that tape player? How do you stop yourself from reliving this moment over and over again? How did you just shut it off and give it up for good? Because I'd like to just let it go, but that's like trying to just magic it away, and maybe some people can do that. That was not my experience. So what I could do is talk to the younger us, and when Stan, the certified mentor who was teaching the class this afternoon, was working with us. He said, what would you like to do? And what I did was I went over and I hugged the woman who was being my mom. And I was just like, I was hugging her and I just started bawling my eyes out because it was this realization of like, the younger me doesn't need the comfort. The younger me is like fucking amazing. She is incredible. She is like working on herself and trying so hard to overcome an eating disorder and be her best possible person. And then who really needed the help in that situation, who really needed the love and support and someone to be like, it's okay, is my mom. Because my mom was stressed out. My mom grew up with my grandmother. And so you can like one can only imagine. And my mom is no, I'm 20 years old now and working through all of this. My mom was like 40 something at the time, so she's had a lifetime of all these judgments, all these beliefs about herself that are just compounding, 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 and she doesn't have the same tools that I do to address that. So and a friend Rachel used to say, hurt people hurt people. People, and I've written about it. I wrote about it recently. People who judge you the most, people who hate on you the most, people who say mean, nasty things to you the most need love and support more than anybody else you can possibly imagine. Because the things they're saying to you, they're judging themselves for. When other people judge you, it's a projection of what they think about themselves. And it has absolutely nothing to do with you, but we tend to take things personally. So it's like in that situation, my mom really needed that love and support and it's okay and you're doing the best that you can, and I never really let it sink in that my parents were doing the best that they could with the tools, with the knowledge, with the beliefs, with everything that they had. They were just doing the best that they could, and I can think that they could have done better or they should have done better, but if they could, they would have, you know. And then I was hugging my younger self, the girl who was playing my younger self, and you're worth it, and you are a wonderful person, and you are awesome. You're fucking so amazing. You have no idea, and maybe no one's ever told you this because at 16, no one had ever told me just how amazing I was, and now I'm blessed to hear it pretty frequently. But you know, how often are we told how amazing we are, how incredible it is that we come up with all these beliefs that serve us in some way and that help us and that protect us and keep us safe, and we're really amazing human beings. And so that is the full transparent story, and lots of tears, but it's something that I've been holding on to for a while. And I've done work about letting go of things that my stepmom has done, and I think part of me was like, she's not my biological mom, she doesn't have to love me, and so there was more judgment on my mom because she's my biological mother. She's supposed to love me, and so today was a huge turning point. And if you have problems with your mom, maybe this is some in some way useful to you, or if you've had these experiences of taking on other people's judgments of you, I hope you find some benefit from this, because for me it is such a huge relief, a huge burden off my shoulders to think that other people and their opinions of me matter more than me, because really you are the most important person in your world. Otherwise you would not be in your world, you would be in someone else's world, and we can't be anybody else except ourselves. So